fellow garden gals and guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden here in central Minnesota in the zone 4B. So we are just in the first week of August here. There's a few things I want to show you. There is just a ton of blooms, a ton of pollinators everywhere. I'll kind of take you through what looks good right now. Back here is where I put in a cut flower garden this year. It was just kind of a last minute decision, really easy. It's all direct sown seeds. We have amaranth, Love Lies Bleeding and Dreadlocks Amaranth. We have 5 different types of zinnias, and we have 2 different types of Gomphrena, purple Gomphrena. And I'm just so glad I did that. I highly encourage anybody to do that if you have enough space. The seeds are only a few dollars and it looks amazing. I always have fresh flowers inside, but not only that, it has just really attracted all the pollinators to my yard and I just love it. So we have several different kinds of butterflies, monarchs, we've had tiger swallowtails, we've had spice bush butterflies, we've had hummingbirds, which is the first time I saw hummingbirds in my backyard, and just a ton of bumblebees, which when I show you back there some of the blooms, you'll see. It's just, they're just on flowers everywhere. But I also have, you know, just in front of the cut flower garden back here, I also have a more formal space with perennials. So I'll show you that too, what's blooming right now and what's just really attracting all those pollinators. So back here we had some wetland areas. Now this is a unique spot. The reason why I decided last minute to put a cut flower garden is because it floods in the spring with all the snow melt in the early spring. But by Memorial Day, it's pretty dried out, so I could plant some seeds. So it's an area that's kind of tough. Really, you need flood tolerant perennials back there to avoid root rot, because the water table is really high. But I am so glad I did this cut flower garden, and I'll just do it every year. So without further ado, let me just take you around and let me know what you think. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys. Happy gardening.
All right, welcome to my garden. So this is my backyard here. Let me just kind of pan around so you can see what we're looking at. I'm kind of just going to focus on this side over here and up front in this video, just so the video is not too long. But this is the best my garden has ever looked thus far. I'm so happy. Let me kind of show you this bed a bit. There is a plant back here called a Madness Hardy Hibiscus, and it is gorgeous. I will come in at a different angle so you could see the blooms. There's not a ton of open blooms on this side, but just a really nice plant. There's some gateway Joe Pye weed, as you could see some pollinators on it. Now this is a new plant, but it will get about 6 feet tall. So pretty. And this Mars Madness, you could see these blooms are about 9 inches across. It is gorgeous. This plant loves full sun, but moisture. And look at it is covered in buds. This is the first year for this plant, but it will get about 5 feet tall and up to 7 feet wide. Got some iris. There's some Sweet Kate Tradescantia down here. Very pretty. The blooms mostly open in the morning before noon. We have a Juga. We have Veronica. It needs to be cut back, but I just can't yet because there's always just pollinators all over it, as you can see. We have so many in this bed here. A hosta that has seen better days. It is in full sun, but not too bad. And there's some royal candles, Veronica. All right, so I'm going to take you through this area here. There's some Ping Pong Purple Gomphrena lining the path here. Isn't this gorgeous? This makes an excellent cut flower because it lasts so long in a vase. I got these as full-grown plants, but just next to it here, I planted from seed Atomic Purple Gomphrena. They're very bushy. They're not in their full glory yet, but I'd say they're just a week or 2 away, but they will get that dark purple as well. It's lining this bed back here. Now, on the cut flower side, I have the bed grass clippings as a mulch in the bed, and that's been working out great. I have some zinnias back here. This one's called Purple Prince. So pretty. Back here, oh gosh, I have some Ajuga. I have Fothergilla. I have a monstrous tomato plant and a decorative gourd vine back there that is just kind of taken over. I had to trim it a bit actually, but these will just give me some gourds to decorate with in the fall. Here's some polar bear zinnias. Isn't this gorgeous, you guys? There's pollinators all over. They just love the white here too. And this is also where I found a hummingbird one day. But these blooms are huge. I got all these seeds from Baker Creek online. Just a couple dollars. This is Queen Lime Blush Zinnias. This is my longest lasting zinnia. It'll last longer than like 7 days. Isn't this blush color so pretty? And the more you cut these zinnias, the more they grow and they'll just produce blooms. So, there's multiple, I've had multiple bouquets that I've made and they're still completely full. But a very pretty one. I'll definitely grow that one again. This one is a pink senorita. Look at it. It's like frilly, huge blooms. This looks great with like gold foliage in a cut flower arrangement, like maybe like a hosta leaf or a few hosta leaves. There's even a happy little accident here, as Bob Ross would say, where sometimes you get a different color. Next to that, we have Mazurkia Zinnias. These are gorgeous too. So many different colors in there and patterns. There's that, and let me show you another one here that looks totally different, but it's still a Mazurkia. Isn't that pretty? Couldn't be happier with this. Highly recommend. Definitely plant yourself some zinnias if you have the space. They're so easy, direct sown. So pretty. So here's my amaranth here. This is right here. This will bloom soon and it will look like this. This one's called Dreadlocks. And this one that's blooming is called Love Lies Bleeding. It still will grow a bit more. But yeah, grown from seed, these plants are like 6 feet tall now. There's even a white one here. I've never seen that before. Great for flower arrangements. You could just cut these. These are annuals. But these should look good through the fall. And it makes a good barrier, like in between the veggie garden and this more formal bed. Some more Gateway Joe Pie. This is the second year, so these are almost 6 feet tall. Let me just show you the bed in front of the cut flower and veggie garden. It is so pretty right now. We have these Cheyenne Spirit coneflowers. I'll try to put all the names on the screen unless it kind of messes up the shot. Look at the pollinators just love these coneflowers. And if you leave the seed heads on in the fall, the birds will eat the seeds as well. I just planted some of this. This will get 5 feet tall. This is pink agastache or anise hyssop. So it's short right now, but next year it should get, 3 to 5 feet tall. Very glad to find that. We have Liatris or Blazing Star. This white one's kind of on its way out. But the butterflies just love these Liatris. There's a purple one here. These will spread a little bit too. So pretty. Just like those feathery blooms. And I like having that height in the back of the bed here. There's another white one that was on its way out. Another anise hyssop or agastache. We have some spireas kind of popped in here. We have pollinators all over this Kismet raspberry coneflower. This is my favorite coneflower. I just love the color, and it pops from like a mile away. We have a delphinium on its second bloom. Needs to be staked up there. The second blooms aren't as great as the first, but still pretty nonetheless. More agastache there that I just put in. We have some more spirea there. We have double scoop raspberry coneflowers. And back here, let me show you this plant. This is Blue Fortune agastache, and no joke, there's like at least 15 bumblebees on this plant right now. And it's great to plant these kind of plants next to your veggie garden that You know, you need some pollinators to help produce the vegetables. So here's a meadow blazing star that will look like this when it is in bloom. And look at it, it's just starting to open up. So we're in mid-August here, and this should bloom till first frost, hopefully. Excited about that. Really attracts the butterflies. So I couldn't be happier. Here we have some penstemon that's done blooming. We have a Merlot coneflower. I just put this in. Check out this stem. These stems are like a dark burgundy. Look at, there's a pollinator on it, and the blooms are huge. So this is first year, but this plant will fill in and get about 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide. So pretty. Another meadow blazing star or Liatris just behind that. Not blooming yet, but all budded. Can't wait. And just behind that, we have the Spring Celebrity Purple Hollyhock. I love hollyhocks. This is the second one I planted. They can spread a bit because they will reseed, but they're a short-lived perennial, and you really need to let them reseed, and they'll form little colonies. Look at all the buds on this, though. So pretty. I have the space for it to spread, so I'm not afraid of spreaders in my garden. This is another spreader. This is an obedient plant, second year. It's a native, so it's very beneficial to the pollinators, but you do need to have the space because, like I said, it will spread. It is aggressive. It's not considered invasive, but aggressive. Here's my front bed. There's some phlox on one side here, and they will kind of come in and out of bloom. But it lasts, these blooms last for a while until like first frost almost. We have some crab apples in this bed, and let me kind of show you the Millennium Allium here are just starting to bloom. They're not in full glory yet. They should look good next week. I'll do another tour and I'll spend a little more time up here in this front bed. But they will be covered in pollinators once they're in full bloom. We have some Sedum matrona, some coneflowers behind that. Sedum matrona, that will bloom light pink in a few weeks. We have blue Wichita junipers, so pretty. Very happy with this bed. It stays really dry up here, so these are pretty tough plants to make it. And we have Silvermount artemisia in front here, very tough plant as well. And we have some more Millennium Allium. 5 more on this side with some more blue Wichita blue junipers. It's so pretty. Millennium Alliums are so easy. You don't got to do anything to it. You don't have to fertilize. They will be just fine. These are like 3rd or 4th year. Let me show you a new plant I put over here, Diamond Lake Hosta. It is a blue hosta that has these frilly edges. It'll look like this when it's fully grown. It's by Proven Winners. Got that on sale. I love my blue hostas, especially next to gold foliage. And this is a side of my yard that I normally don't show you because it hasn't looked very good. There's a Japanese lilac up here that'll bloom in the spring. And this is a garden bed that I've had really hard times with because there's maples in this bed and they all have very shallow roots. I have a petunia basket up here. I just had to cut some of it back so it doesn't look great, but it will. I just fertilize it and it'll look good another week or 2. I put some sedums up here that I got on clearance because they're very tough plants and it gets full sun on this side. I found a couple frozen Margarita Hostas. I found tiny little plugs in a 6-pack, so it'll look like this fully grown. So I put them all through this bed. I hope those do well. This gets to be more shaded the further back you go in this bed. Here's a Mesa Verde ice plant. That's a tough plant as well, so it should spread. It gets really pretty pink flowers. Let me show you these 5 Proven Winner Dolce Spearmint Heucheras or coral bells that I found on sale for like $3 each. This is what they look like when they're fully grown and blooming. Isn't that gorgeous? They'll bloom midsummer, so I'm really happy to put that back here. And let me just kind of show you my front door, my front porch garden bed. It's all annuals up here right now. We have Lemon Coral Sedum in the front, which is the yellow. We have purple Impatiens. We have Coleus in various types of Coleus throughout this bed and in that container. We have some Begonias. Those are the pink flowers. Blooming, gorgeous. This is a pretty shady bed. And look at this Rex begonia back here. Have you ever seen leaves like this, like a light blue gray? So pretty. When I saw this, I had to have it. And we have a pretty good looking shade pot here with an irisine. And we have more irisine and caladium and creeping jenny and coleus in this pot on my front porch. So very happy with that. It filled in quite well. We have those caladiums there, they're just gorgeous. Let me show you this. There's proven winners, little lime hydrangeas. There's 2 plants here, and it's a good 4.5 feet tall, but they're not even in their full glory yet. They just started opening, so next week on my garden tour, I'll spend a little more time on these because these blooms get huge. I love this plant too. It stays compact like this size, and it just looks great through the fall. And this is just my side bed here, which I'll probably spend more time on next week. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Happy gardening. And we'll see you next week for another tour. Take care.